What's up, guys? It's your boy Ace from AceMadden.com, and today we're going to be talking about the November title update. This is a big one because they're updating the playbooks, and they've added some new defensive formations as well as a new offensive formation, and we're going to be talking about it. So we're not going to actually be breaking down the formations today. Look for that in the coming days. I've already dabbled in the new defensive formations, and I think they're quite good. They at least have some use cases versus specific offensive formations. So like nickel triple and nickel 2-4-5 odd. I'll break those down in the coming days, like I said. But today we're just going to be talking about the patch notes. If you guys are interested in the full patch notes, you want to read everything, not just gameplay changes. As always, the link will be in the description of the video. And you can also check the pinned comment section as well. So like I said, just gameplay changes. The midseason playbook update, I already touched on that. We're going to go more in depth in a second. New X Factor ability Omaha. To me, this is just completely ridiculous. Nobody asked for this, and it kind of defeats the purpose of the game, but I'll talk about it anyways. This ability allows a quarterback to see defensive back coverage play art via pre-play coach cam when in the zone. So it is a superstar X Factor. Can't do it on every single play, but it's, you can activate it quite easily. This can be unlocked with 4 consecutive completions of 5+ air yards on arcade and simulation, and 6 consecutive completed passes of 5 air yards on competitive. Knockout conditions include 2 incomplete passes, blah, 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 blah. Defenders can hide their assignments from the QB by using the Bluff Blitz hot route. So I'm not exactly sure how it works yet as far as hiding and what that entails. But that doesn't sound like... It sounds like a really bad X Factor in my opinion. You guys can leave your opinions in the comment section. I'm curious what you guys think. I just think it's ridiculous, personally. All right, let's move on down to the gameplay updates, the good stuff. The new nickel triple defensive formation added to the Bears, Giants, Redskins, and Texans. This nickel triple, I think has very good potential. The reason I say that is because the alignment, and I'll break it down in the next couple days, but I think it's going to be very good against trips tight end. So if someone uses a lot of gun trips tight end, I think it can be very good. I have to confirm that. I have to get in the lab and make sure. But I'm pretty sure it'll do good against trips tight end. And it's mainly because of the alignment and then what the cornerbacks do. But I will talk about that later. But look for this in the coming days. New nickel 2-4-5 odd. That's kind of like the 3-3-5 odd. It's very similar. It kind of has the same plays. So if you're a fan of the 3-3-5 odd this year, this is going to be good for you because I think they're adding it to these are 4-3 teams, I believe. And that's not 3-3-5 odd was pretty exclusive to 3-4 teams, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. New goal line 6-2 defensive formation added. I haven't even looked at the goal line 6-2 yet, but that's pretty cool. So it'd be a 6-2-3. 3-4 odd is added to the Panthers. So they've added some 3-4 formations to, 3-4 Bears, very popular this year. It's just got added to all these playbooks, which is great. Good for MUT draft. We have 4-3 odd, which is one of my favorite formations from last year. Was only in multiple D. It's now in Jaguars, Saints, and Vikings, which is cool. So they have a bunch of changes here, but the only one I'm going to be talking about is the new Taysom Hill formation, which is added to the Saints playbook. And what it does is it allows you to have 2 quarterbacks on the field. It allows the quarterback 3 to be subbed into multiple offensive skill positions: halfback, tight end, wide receiver. This is something that is potentially cheesy. You could get crazy with this if you have the right players. I don't know what plays they have yet, so I don't know if it's just going to be a useless offensive formation yet, but it has potential to be cheesy simply because of who you can get on the field. You can get, like Lamar Jackson spots that would be ridiculous for him to be in. But, I think it's cool because, teams do, like the Saints do, use that in real life. So, but all these other changes... you can read these yourselves, but it'd take forever for me to go through all of these. This is a big one here, updated nasty streak ability, so it will not activate when used by a player playing out of position. So a lot of people have found ways to, they'll put Lane Johnson, who's a right tackle, at tight end, and it's just easier for him to get to the second level and kind of take on those players in the secondary, and he would just completely pummel them. It's an auto win every single time. Well, they've changed it so you can't do that, and people were actually finding ways to I wouldn't say it was like really like glitchy or anything, but they were putting Lane Johnson at tight end, and then they would come out in formations where you could have a tight end package in the slot, like a slot wide receiver, and then they would take on someone from the secondary every single time. So it was really annoying to watch. It takes no skill, and they've changed it. So it's only going to be active when you're using them in the position that they're meant to be. Updated counter for threat detector ability. If you guys watched any of the DreamHack tournament this past weekend or in regs with Russell Wilson, you'll see that you can see the defenders when they're blitzing. There'll be like a red X above their head. And this is now countered by using the Bluff Blitz Hot Route. Like I said earlier, I don't know what this entails. I don't know what it's going to look like, but apparently you can counter it now. I'm not sure how it looks and how effective or practical that counter is. So we'll find that out soon, but if they're adding counters to something that had no counter previously, I suppose that's a good thing. Let's see. Oh, this one's very good for passers. This one's a very good change. Added logic to contextually slow down AI-controlled zone coverage defenders' break on the throw when they are not facing the quarterback and or moving at speeds too fast to quickly change direction. Let me read the dev note too, because I haven't read this yet. In a previous title update, we globally increased the break on ball speeds to improve zone coverage based on players' feedback. With that change, we alluded to adding more context to the tuning in a future title update so we could be better at tuning break times more precisely. This is follow-up to that tuning, and this should make zone defenders in plays like Cover 2 and Cover 3 less effective at breaking on multiple routes in their zone. So this has been one of my biggest complaints ever since they buffed zones. So personally, I think zones were really bad at the beginning of the year, and they did change that by buffing them, but it was done in a way that wasn't realistic because you could have cornerbacks with their backs completely turned, and they'll still break on the ball as if they're looking at the quarterback, which makes no sense because they don't have eyes on the back of their head. So it looks like they've changed that. So they've added some extra conditions to the programming where if they're not facing the quarterback, they're not going to be able to do that, which is great. That's more realistic. And this is going to be good for passers, for sure. So hopefully we start seeing a little bit less toting between no nasty streak. Well, I guess there is still nasty streak, but it's not going to be as good because you can't really force the matchup. They have to get to the second level on their own, which is really not going to happen because if they come out in something run heavy, you're going to come out in something run heavy as well on defense. Let's see if there's anything else worth mentioning. Tuning to increase the defensive reaction to running plays for deep zone safeties and cover 4 plays. So that means that they're going to kind of crash down a little bit better. They're going to be in the run fits because cover 4 is a good run defense in real life and should be in Madden as well. Tuning to reduce release time on tight end block and release mechanic. This is something that's frustrated me because I actually really like what they've done this year by adding in the new block and release routes from the tight end position. So, like the delay fade, the delay drag. But the thing that I don't like about it this year or prior to this patch is that sometimes you can press their icon and it just takes them so long to get out of their break or to get into the route. Like it could take like 3 seconds and maybe they'll stumble, they'll fall to the ground, and then it's just completely pointless. So hopefully this changes it. I haven't looked at it yet, but hopefully it makes them get into the routes much quicker. And that way you can actually use him as a chip and then release, and it's very smooth. If that's the case, that's going to be something you can incorporate into your offense. It's something that I incorporate into my new ebook. If you guys want to check that out, it's on acemadden.com. But it's the San Francisco and Denver offense. And we use some of that tight end block and release. Let's see what else. Nothing. Everything else just seems kind of. Oh, this one's interesting. I'm not going to go over this right now, but this is something I have to look into. Because, I break down cover 4 palms and quarters. And I want to see what they've done with it. But that's pretty much it for now. If you guys want to read everything, like I said, description and comment section. And I want to know what you guys think of this patch. Are you guys excited to try out the new formations? Do you think that the Taysom Hill shotgun formation is going to be cheesy? I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys later. Look forward to the nickel triple breakdown. I'll be doing that soon. I just got to dabble in it a little bit longer. I'll see you guys later.